Stefan, what a year. It's time for our personal look back at 2020. And well, it all started in January when we went to NRF in New York.
Yeah, at that time we were still allowed to travel freely. New York, NRF, but our main takeaways were really from looking at New York retail. And there's just such a breadth of different retail stores there to look at. And we could really observe the whole spectrum from static stores that basically don't have any digital, like a Starbucks, to dynamic stores with classical digital signage, large LED walls in a Puma store, in an Adidas store, in H&M, and then interactive installations. Most notable, I think, it was Puma. And then we were looking for adaptive stores, which we couldn't find. Not yet, I think, because that's basically the Champions League of store concepts. And we had a long video discussion about what we saw in New York, and you can find that on our YouTube channel. But behind the scenes, something happened.
Well, yeah, as we travel, we don't just work, but we also obviously try to explore the city a little bit. And we usually do that by running. And so 2020 was quite successful. Together we ran 3,000 kilometers.
Yeah, for you more than for me.
Well, 2.5 on me and 500 on you, but that's fair enough. Funnily enough, 2019 I flew 250,000 kilometers. So this year I ran at least 2,500. So still working on the difference. No, but it was really great because we went in the middle of winter over Brooklyn Bridge.
Yeah, where the rain basically came in horizontally.
Yeah, and the next morning went running in Central Park, and we thought one of the drill instructor with his team was passing by. We thought, we can keep up with them, but that wasn't a good idea.
About a mile was okay.
Good. After New York, we went to Amsterdam.
Yeah, February was really the month of trade shows for us, and ISE Amsterdam, the last ISE in Amsterdam, was a farewell show, very, very interesting because we had many good conversations. I think we had a little bit less visitors at ISE this year, so there was
51,000.
Yeah, there was some more time for discussions, but still, it felt kind of like a farewell thing.
Yeah, it was a little bit sad, obviously. Was shortly before lockdown, and it was the first time you couldn't shake hands anymore, and obviously there was no events in the evening, and but the quality of the meeting was fantastic, and unfortunately some of the exhibitors decided last minute not to participate. So some of the big names were missing, and some of the people you usually meet at shows. But after now 12 months of pandemic, it was a fantastic time.
Yeah, and we had some difficulties going there. There was this big storm, and
it was a winter storm. Yeah, it took us 2 days, 48 hours to fly from Munich to Amsterdam. We went there, we had to return, and then we stayed over in Frankfurt, and then the next day we tried it again. It was quite cumbersome, but we made it eventually.
So I'm personally looking forward to first time in Barcelona, because I visited Barcelona really for the first time in 2020, and really looking forward to ISE 2021
in June. Yeah. Hopefully that's all going according to plan. So yeah, we're looking forward to go from the February the winter in Amsterdam to the summer of Barcelona. That's a nice change. But after ISE, there was only 24 hours in between. We started another show.
Yeah, that was really, really tough because it was really the biggest project for us in 2020. It was shared spaces at Euroshop in Düsseldorf, a concept created by Kemmler Architects for Ansorg, Visona, and Visplay, Vitra group companies.
Yeah.
And they are very much about materials and about physical spaces, and the challenge for us was to bring in this digital layer and really to create an adaptive space. So we had to use a lot of sensors and user interactions, which didn't always work as expected or as hoped. But it was very good challenge for us. And we had some great partners on board, the big ones, NEC, Intel, but also Salesforce.
Yeah, Salesforce was really interesting. And before the show, people said, why are you taking, Salesforce on board? And we said, it's so interesting because they know so much about, how customers behave online. And that's really, we wanted to bring their know-how and their analytics capabilities and everything also to the offline world. And so we merged both of them. It was really, really interesting. And lots of retailers, more than 33,000. So every third visitor of Euroshop, came to our booth. And so we had many, many interesting discussions, and it was quite interesting.
Yeah, but we also have some fun facts. I mean, do you remember the architects asked us while we created the concept to find a solution where you could actually read the mood of a person from their hand?
Yeah. Yeah, luckily enough, we decided, that's not going to work, and especially on the pandemic time. At that time, we didn't know, but we decided, we're using some sensors, some eye tracking sensors, and this worked really, really well, and we could determine the mood of all the visitors.
It's a Munich-based company, 42, and yep. I really like that technology because you can read many, many things from the eyes.
Yeah, but reading, we had also one special room.
Yeah, it was a silent room. I needed that after having created some animated content in the middle of the night or programmed some interface experiences.
Schieker design was born.
Right. Yeah, but there's a great story about that silent room. There was a light installation inside which fluctuated at the breathing rate of a sleeping elephant.
Yeah, we really liked that. We didn't slice the elephant, but we but we looked at it. No, it was a fantastic room. It was really, really interesting because it really brought together, design, futurists, and the whole concept was fascinating to see what's possible, but also, obviously where still the challenges are.
And if you want to learn more, we wrote a long article about that in the yearbook, and you can download that. You'll find the download link below in the comments.
Yeah. After Euroshop, the lockdown started. We went all back to our own places, and we started, communicating, with Zoom and with Teams and everything, with lots of decision makers in the industry. And yeah, we had almost weekly briefings with them. We analyzed the market, and yeah, we tried to, making sense out of all this special situation.
Yeah, and we actually first went digital and then went hybrid. Yeah. We went to Barcelona to do tape some conversations there that we then used in our DSS, the show concept, because we had to cancel physical DSS.
Yeah, we couldn't do DSS in here at the Hilton, what we usually do. So we had to move to a TV studio, more or less, to a hybrid room. And we produced a live show, 2 times 4 hours live. 2,650 people from 96 countries participated. Was a great success, but Forza also was a huge challenge because for the first time, being in front of cameras and doing everything live was quite challenging. Actually, a few weeks before, we did something also for Samsung. They invited us to present Samsung The Wall for Business, and that's where we learned to be a one-take wonder.
Yeah.
After 5 trials. But that was it. Well, that was DSS, and then yeah, the year almost came to an end because we had another lockdown. There was not much we could do, but shortly before Christmas, we started invidisXworld.
Yeah, we started in Berlin last week's show, and we're going to go back to Berlin next week's show. So yeah, you'll see more of us on video.
Live on video, and obviously, with lots of information, and we want to travel around in these difficult times, and yeah, be the window to the digital signage world for you, and talk to really exciting people, and yeah, inspect great projects.
Looking forward to that.
Absolutely.